This is a little bit of history about this book. Why? How did this come about? Why is it so important? And how will this book help you move away from that addiction that is destroying your life or that problem gambling cycle? Well, first of all, my name is Santos Rolon Jr. I'm out of Stockton, California. I go by AKA Soldier of Self-Mastery, philosopher of everyday victorious living. I'm the founder of the Soldiers of Self-Mastery movement. And if you haven't clicked on my YouTube channel, please do so and subscribe, Soldiers of Self-Mastery. My friend, for over 30 years, I gambled. I did try to get myself out of that situation. There was other problems that I was having in my life at that time too. I didn't recognize them that very strongly, but there were problems. There were deep-rooted problems. There were belief systems. They were paradigms that were inserted deep in my subconscious that I wasn't really aware of. So I was trying to handle life as best as I could, but I was always falling into the trap of gambling, losing money, going to casinos. You know the story. Going from depression to getting better, hiding from people to facing people. And it's a very, very horrible cycle once you have the problem going. I remember driving to Reno, Nevada, and that was one of the first experiences that I had really in California to gambling. Of course, I gambled in other ways, but in the casino, they started popping up, and then locally, I started going to those casinos here in my area. And eventually, I did try, it wasn't working. What I was doing wasn't really working because it seemed like my life was just getting worse. I was generating income, but I was like putting it into a bag with holes, right? You ever feel like your life, like you're putting money into a bag with holes? You try, and it just eventually it took its toll. And problem gambling will take a toll on your life. It'll cause collateral damage even long after you've stopped gambling. That's the sad thing about addiction, and especially problem gambling, because problem gambling can be a very, very lonely addiction. It can be, but not necessarily. So it took its toll on me, and about a year and a half ago, about 2 years ago, I began really thinking, because my departure from gambling is I made a decision probably about 5 years ago to get away from gambling. Now, I wasn't very successful the first year. I started getting better the second year, and then the third year, and then finally I got myself free through life hacking, going to seminars, going to webinars, some things that I had paid for, some education that was paid for, some that was not paid for, videos, Google, maybe going to the library, creating journals and stuff like that. Of course, you got to buy the book. Today you can have a journal on your phone, and if you pay your phone bill, you have a digital journal. So I outlined the structure for the LRB from these kinds of thoughts. How did I get here? How was I able to get myself free? How do I keep myself free? What were the life hacks? What were the essential tools that I used on myself? I started writing them all down as much as I could. It was a bunch of mumbo jumbo is what it was. I put it together with the first, I don't know how many drafts of this book I've made, maybe 8, maybe 9, 10 drafts. Finally, I'm sure that even this draft will get some more changes. It'll evolve in the future. But what are you getting in this book, and why am I encouraging you to buy it if you're stuck in life and you want to get free? It's going to give you a little bit about me. It's going to give you a little bit of history about me, about where I came from, and the whys. There's things that happen, there's experiences that happen in your life that you may not be aware of why it's happened. This book will give you a little bit of understanding about that. It's going to help you build self-confidence. It's going to help you build self-belief. It's going to help you grow self-belief. And it's going to be a tool book for you. It's going to provide solutions. If you're willing to take 1 or 2 life hacks out of this book, and remember, the ebook is only just pennies on the dollar. Click the link and get your version.